There is one muscle in your face that is so strong that if it's overly tight, it can actually prematurely age your face. What muscle is that? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you which one it is and how to relax it. Welcome back. Christine Byer here, licensed esthetician for 21 years. On this channel, we talk about skincare journeys because it's never one thing that makes your face look better. It's usually a combination of things. So this one muscle, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know what muscle it is. It is the jaw. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. It's your jaw. Now, the jaw is basically the axis of the face. It's that axle, right? And if it is overly tight, and it's biological, our stress response system or our sympathetic nervous system doesn't know that that project that's due at work is not a big bear running after us. So it equates them. So we're always clenching our jaw. We may not even notice it. We can even be holding our breath. If you think about what happens when your jaw gets overly tight and you're clenching, you go into what I call pain face. So this is tight, we get crow's feet, our lips bunch up sometimes, our cheeks get really tight, everything gets tight, right? And everything pulls in and down. And so when we release our jaw, it gives everything else permission to sort of float up and out, right? And just relax. So that's why it is so important. Plus, if you think about it, over the years, lines etch into our faces. You know, we make these facial expressions over and over, and they etch into our faces. And so this is the first part of undoing all of that. And that is why targeted massage is so important in my practice. This January, we're talking about the 3 steps in skincare and the 3 steps in anti-aging skincare and how I take care of my clients. And the first step is targeted massage. And then we have multi-purpose, high-performance products. And then we have devices. And in that order, because if you don't release these overly tight muscles, you're asking them to do a lot of work and they're not really ready for it. They're not warmed up, they're not released, the blood's not flowing, the lymph's not releasing, the intercellular toxins and waste, those aren't draining as well as they could. So let's get to releasing the jaw. So you can do this with your hands. I like using a tool on my clients. If you look at the jaw, and I'll show you a picture here, the jaw muscles actually continue up into our scalp, right? And so I like to start there. So if we take our hands and make them to a fist and start to massage kind of like ovals. So we're doing a cross tissue massage of that fan-like muscle right here. And this should feel so good. We're just doing a cross fiber massage of that muscle. Starting to release it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it restyles your hair too. So we start there. And then I also like to go into the mouth, but we'll do that in a second. And then you'll take your fingers and you're going to pull. You'll put one hand right up on that cheekbone, right? The cheekbone that continues right here. It's right there. And one underneath it. And you may want some slip and glide for this. I have makeup on and my fingers just sort of glide. And so we're going to go like right into that divot and sort of pull apart. And this, you notice my fingers are just sliding. This is sort of a superficial release. We're not really digging. It's more of a signal to those deeper muscles that, hey, we are releasing. I do this to my clients. And they love the way it feels. Right? So, and then you can take, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. I like to start to massage through here, just circles underneath the ear. I do this different, there are different moves There's a lot of good moves on YouTube, and then you want to take your bottom teeth and put them over the top, kind of like a bulldog. And massage. And that's when it really hurts. All right, and let that release. And you might want to massage up underneath your skull right here, this occipital ridge, to kind of calm things down. If that is really tight, that will hurt quite a bit. And if I'm in a real hurry, I get my biggest bang for my buck in releasing a jaw inside the mouth. So go ahead and wash your hands and let's go inside the mouth. Okay, so we're going to take our opposite hand to that side and we're going to reach back to right here. And then we start to feel around for excess mealiness. If you just start sort of pulling forward in this area, you're going to get a big purchase of those jaw muscles and it's going to start to release. So this is really, if I need to do this fast, I do this. I actually did a 2-part series on how to release your jaw, where the first one I'm on the outside and the second one I'm on the inside. So make sure to see that if you want to see this more in depth. Oh. Sorry for the sound effects. It's intense, right? And I definitely, God, I can almost see that my mouth is almost sideways. Let's go ahead and do a little bit on the other side. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, you guys, my goodness. And you want to get back there a little bit further and stuff, but that's a good start. Don't go too crazy with this. You know, do it maybe a total of 5 minutes to start. Yeah, I felt like my mouth almost looked sideways because I had tension on one side, not the other. So I'm always looking at my clients' faces, sort of evaluating where they hold most of their tension. And 9 times out of 10, it's their jaw. So I will go in and release that, because if I don't, and I remember this happened to me in class years ago where I released all this and then it just wouldn't go flat. It just wouldn't flatten. And I finally went and she taught us how to do the jaw, and then everything just went flat. And I was like, I must have been stuck in pain phase. I didn't know that at the time, but yeah. So if we're releasing all this other stuff and it just will not be tamed, release your jaw and then this will flatten. So yeah, this whole targeted massage is so important in skincare, because if you think about years of this accumulated tension, it will really start to make our muscles dense and they start to dry out. And if you think of the skin and the muscles as this wet, luscious, not sponge, but just this beautiful water-filled tissue, and then you think of somebody, their later years, as this dried up sponge, that's essentially what's happening. And so that's why massage is so important, and especially those areas that accumulate extra tension over the years. So targeted massage, step number 1 in your anti-aging process. Stay tuned. We're going to be going over the other steps in the coming weeks. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye now.